Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to Pop Culture Reviews. I'm your host, Logan Trimble. And today I'm going to do a little review of Captain N, the Game Master. I mean, everybody's really tackled this show. I mean, it's a show where it's basically a Nintendo commercial. That's what it was. It was created in the late 80s, from 1989 to 1991, and essentially it was a toy commercial for Nintendo. I know people like Nostalgia Critic have talked about this show. But here's the thing, I can bring a lot more new to it. That's why I'm doing this review. So I'm just going to talk about what's great about the show that can be done later. So, as we all know, Captain N, the Game Master, is a show where a teenager named Kevin Keene, voiced by Matt Hill, goes to a cyberspace realm called Videoland, and he helps other video game characters. I was going to say Nintendo because not all of them are Nintendo, but he helps video game characters like Simon Belmont, Kid Icarus, better known to us as Pit today, Mega Man, and Princess Lana, who's not a video game character. I'm not going to go over all the characters and all that, but yeah, essentially, he has a power pad and zapper that help him on his quest, essentially to help emulate Mario and Samus. That's the thing about the show that people ask. Why wasn't Samus in the show? I mean, Mother Brain was here, voiced by Motown legend Levi Stubbs Jr. So why isn't Samus in the show? Well, you got to keep in mind, this is back when there was no internet and material had to be found. You had to scrounge for. You had to do your research. That's why we had libraries. I mean, I loved visiting the library as a kid a lot. That's the thing. The creators of the show, they couldn't visit a library. They contacted Nintendo, and Nintendo, this is where they got lazy. They gave them a summary and some character designs, like from comic strips, I believe, and they told Deke Entertainment to just make a show with what we have given you. It's like, okay, there are comic books for Captain N out there that were published around the time this show was made, and they featured Samus. Okay, she's in the comics. You can check them out online. So, when asked why she wasn't included in this show, one of the creators said because they never heard of her. It's like, okay, if you guys actually sat down and played the video games at the time, like if you played Metroid, that's a game I gave up on. I completed Super Metroid, but Metroid, I'm like, okay, I get why NES games are classics, but I'm giving up on this. I'm going to complete Legend of Zelda, and looking back, I just wish I didn't complete the first Legend of Zelda game because better Zelda games are out there that still hold up, like Ocarina of Time. But yeah, I gave up on Metroid. And it's like, if you guys actually sat down and played Metroid, you would know who Samus was, but you would never know who Mother Brain was. I mean, that's quite ironic, for me at least. And you know what they did to Mother Brain? Like I said, she's voiced by Motown legend Levi Stubbs Jr., who's essentially playing yet another character, like the plant from Little Shop of Horrors, who is essentially just a monster with the voice of a drag queen. I mean, no disrespect to the late Levi Stubbs. He was awesome. And it's sad that these roles are what he's best known for now. But yeah, this makes the role from Little Shop of Horrors look like a masterpiece. I mean, Mother Brain is just your stereotypical evil villain who has incompetent henchmen who are Eggplant Wizard and Keen Hippo. And at times, you have Dr. Wily in the show, even Dr. Light, I think his name was, who created Mega Man, guest starred in the show. And yeah, with the heroes, they also mess them up too. I mean, Simon Belmont looks like a bomber pilot, but he acts like a metrosexual. He's essentially a metrosexual in the show. And Kid Icarus, who I'm just going to call Pit from now on, he has a Brooklyn style accent and he says Icus at the end of words. Oh, yeah, because that's mythology from ancient Greece. I mean, come on, that game has Medusa for crying out loud. Yeah, Brooklynese accents and Greek mythology, they don't go hand in hand, guys. They just don't. And yeah, Mega Man is easily the most annoying of the three heroes that are actual video game characters that are recurring. I mean, he looks like a toddler. He sounds like he smoked an entire Marlboro factory, indeed. Thank you, Nostalgia Critic. And he has to say Mega at the time, too. Like, he's mega rad. It's like, yeah, that's not going to annoy anytime soon. But here's the thing. I did not grow up watching Captain N, the Game Master. And growing up, I didn't know there were Mario cartoons and a Legend of Zelda cartoon. Okay? I knew there was a Donkey Kong Country show, and that's bad. I mean, I'll eventually get around to doing a review of that sometime. So, yeah, Captain and the Game Master, it's cheese. It's definitely a show that has a great concept, but doesn't fully take advantage of it at all. And here's the thing Mario is name dropped in the show in the first episode. Like when Kevin compares the Ultimate Warp Zone as an analogy to Warp Zone 4 from Super Mario Brothers. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. Why doesn't Mario appear in the show? Well, you gotta remember, Mario had his own shows at the time this show was being aired. Like the Super Show, as well as the one based on the third Mario Brothers game, and then finally, Super Mario World. And here's the thing while those shows are all terrible, Super Mario Bros. 3, the cartoon, was the best of them all. I mean, yeah, the roles of Mario and Luigi were better when they were recast to Walker Boone and the late Tony Rosato. Yeah, Walker Boone played the role better than Captain Lou Albano did when it came to Mario. So he's easily the best Mario in serialized format in television. But yeah, is there anything that's really good about Captain N? Like I said, the premise does kick ass. And here's the thing there are episodes that are fully embracing the concept. Like, Captain N does a crossover with Link and Zelda from the Super Mario Brothers Super Show Zelda cartoon, which only lasted 13 episodes, one season, because it was still pretty wretched. Not as bad as the Super Show, but yeah, it was still pretty bad. And yeah, if you're going to watch one episode of this show, you need to watch Quest for the Potion of Power, because that episode fully embraced the concept, and it made Zelda 2 The Adventure of Link better than what the game gave us. I mean, yeah, you had the same concept where the Moblins are out for Link's blood, but yeah, there's a rumor that Ganon might be coming back. I mean, sure, the final battle with him, spoiler alert, is pretty anticlimactic, but this is where the show was fully embracing its concept, its premise. And it was so good that it was just too good for one episode. Link and Zelda guest starred in 3 more episodes, bringing the total to 4. But the last time they guest starred was in the episode Trojan Dragon. They just show up, help them make the Trojan Dragon, and boom, they're gone. And they're never seen or heard from again in the entire episode. Or the entire series from where season 2 ended. And yeah, that's the problem with this show. They get Link and Zelda right in animation. It's the same voice actors like Jonathan Potts and Cynthia Preston, I think her name is. But yeah, they got them right, but they didn't make them regulars on the show. It's like, how do you not do that? Especially when the 3rd season came around, it had huge budget costs, actually budget cuts, whichever way you want to put it. But either way, the budget was slashed. So the animation was bad. And Simon Belmont and Mega Man were kicked off the show because Nintendo couldn't pay royalties to Konami and Capcom. Like, okay, fine. Are we going to get actual Nintendo characters showing up in here? No. We get Captain N, his dog Duke, Princess Lana, and Pit. And yeah, from what I hear in the official full series release, they don't have season 3. They just have like the first 2 seasons. And yeah, the third season was also facing serious budget cuts to the point that the episodes were only 15 minutes long and not 22 minutes. And yeah, is the character of Captain N, Kevin Keene, interesting? No. He's a bit of a Mary Sue. He's very much a Mary Sue. He could do anything. I mean, he's a good athlete in high school. He's also a mathlete, and he's a game master. That sounds too good to be true. I mean, there's being a polymath like myself, and then there's just being too perfect. I mean, he doesn't even have much in the way of personality either. He's pretty bland, and so's Lana. But the voice actors who voiced Kevin and Lana went on to do better things, both in live action and animation. Matt Hill and Venus Terzo. I mean, they both had roles on the show X-Men Evolution, one of my all-time favorite Marvel cartoons. And yeah, we'll talk X-Men in another video. So here's the thing about Captain N the Game Master. This concept, like I said, it kicks ass. So what should happen is that Nintendo should reboot the show and just kick, Simon Belmont and Mega Man off and actually have video game characters we know and love. Like you can bring Kevin Keene back, just give him more of a personality. I mean, come on, he's a human being. He's not a video game character. And yeah, I mean, the writers for all 3 of these Nintendo shows, Super Show, as well as the other Mario cartoons, Legend of Zelda, and Captain N, tried to give these characters some personality. It's like, okay, you just have to develop them more. I mean, have it that Kevin Keene teams up with the holy trinity of Nintendo, which is Mario, Link, and Samus. And make it a cyberspace adventure like it was in the original cartoon. So yeah, really, this show has a great concept that deserves to be rebooted. And what the writers need to do is make this a love letter to Nintendo. I mean, think of it as like Smash Brothers, where Kevin represents the role that we want to be in the cyberspace realm that is the Nintendo worlds, and have it that he's there. Have it essentially be like, Justice League, only with Nintendo characters, and only Nintendo characters. I mean, come on, you shouldn't have to worry about paying royalties and throwing in characters just for fan service. Okay? Don't get me wrong. I like Simon Belmont. And yeah, Mega Man I have respect for, but he's not one of my favorite video game characters, because I did play his games growing up. But yeah, really, if this is going to be done, it has to be done with Nintendo characters, because they're the most popular, and they'll sell the best, of course. So yeah, sure, you have to modernize it. You can't make it like take place in the 80s or anything. But yeah, I mean, Captain N the Game Master, it's a stupid show, but it has potential as a reboot, as long as you don't make it blatant advertising, okay? Avoid blatant advertising. What needs to happen is that this has to be a love letter that's taken inspiration from Smash Brothers. Because, yeah, that would be friggin' awesome. It really would. That just might be another form of fan art that I'll do, where Kevin's there, and I'll just make him look more dimensional, both in drawing and with personality. That's not a bad idea. Just get a little concept. But yeah, I mean, Captain and the Game Master. Verdict, not recommended. But I do recommend at least just watching the episode Quest for the Potion of Power, because that is where the show fully embraced its concept that we wanted to see embrace all the time. I mean, like I said, same voice actors for Link and Zelda, but they made them better, the writing was better, and Link never once says, "Excuse me, princess," ever in Captain N. I'm glad they threw that out the window. There's no point to it. I mean, there's being annoying, and then there's having a catchphrase, and this is just being annoying. So yeah, horrible show, great concept, deserves another chance, but without blatant advertising. Like, fun fact, one of the writers asked one of the producers or the director, I don't remember who it was, if they could call the character Captain Nintendo, and they said no, because that would be blatant advertising. Either way, Captain N is a toy commercial. Hey, as you can see, I love Nintendo, but Nintendo has sold out many times in the past, especially with Pokemon. And yeah, we're going to talk about Pokemon in another video. I mean, I'm going to tell you why I don't like it as an adult, and why I've never gone back to it. I mean, I can forgive Nintendo for this. I mean, I'll even forgive them for The Wizard starring Fred Savage, because I never saw that movie. And like Space Jam, it's a time capsule movie. But Space Jam is more fun than The Wizard, and it's also mercifully shorter than The Wizard. The Wizard's 100 minutes long, Space Jam is like 90 minutes. So yeah, it's more mercifully shorter. So yeah, Captain N, not recommended outside of the Quest for Potion of Power episode. And this show is worthy of a reboot. So, that said, this is Logan Trimble signing off.